Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Black Sea. This is The Race, and I do apologize for the episode infrequency. That may continue for a bit here, but I will eventually get back to regularly scheduled episodes, although this week we should be okay. So, without further ado, The Race. Now, I don't exactly remember where we left off, because I filmed the last batch of episodes in a chunk, and then they didn't go up because I was getting copyright claims for the music from the game for some reason for most of those episodes, so I had a hard time with those episodes. However, knowing what I know based on this, I think the strategy is going to be soft compound for Mick here and super soft compound for Pietro. So let's go to car setup. Let's go here. Let's go tire choice. We're going to go. It is a 60 lap race. So, although he could do half and half, we're going to go soft compound for Mick. And we are going to go ultra soft because we have no choice for our boy Pietro. Our driver strategy is, as always, to push at the start of the race in order to get the temperature in the tires up to par. And that is basically going to be that for the initial setup. The grid is, well, predictable as it always is. We are starting at 9th and then 16th. So some spots to make up from back here in 16th place, but nonetheless, we're off in a terrible start from Mick down in 16th. Up here in the 8th or 9th position, it is roughly a fine start. Not particularly good, and getting worse, but somebody has driven way off the circuit there. But it is basically maintaining position. Meanwhile, over here, something has happened. I don't know. Just poor driving, from what I can tell. His driver form is currently a 0.2, so one would assume that that is playing a significant role in Mr. Schumacher's performance to this point in the race, as Leclerc sets the fastest lap, but somehow loses the lead to Sebastian Vettel. So, not quite sure how he did that all at the same time, but he did. So, as Schumacher builds his way back up to the pack where he belongs with an asterisk at the end of that, because our car's not very good. He is clearly having a bad weekend. I think I do remember, I think the last episode was called like gross qualifying or something, so certainly we had some indication that this was not going to go well. There has been an incident between Perez and Kubica. Can't say names right now. I was trying to read both of them at the same time, and then still was trying to when I realized that I was doing that. As we are chasing down Max Verstappen. I don't know why Verstappen's back here. A lock up there, it appeared, for Valtteri into that corner, and now a lock up for Mickels. So, not always great. We are going to turn down our driving style as the tire temperatures are entering almost the danger zone, but we will leave him consuming a bit more fuel to try and stick on the end of this train here. Currently, the biggest issue for us is going to be Danny up here in 4th. We need Ricardo to preferably fall behind us, but if nothing else, at least fall below the Red Bulls and the Mercedes that are currently the gap between us both. And I would expect by the end of that race that would likely happen. We've had a lockup. Verstappen or Pierre had a lockup there. I'm not sure who that was, which car that was, but one of those two cars. And the lockups all seem to be happening in that same place on the track, which is kind of interesting. Everyone seems to be suffering a very similar fate over there. I don't remember if this race was expected to have rain. I'm just going to assume it was, because most races have rain. So I'm going to take a wild guess and say that that's probably true. As we begin to fall a little bit off of the pack ahead, which is mildly concerning, but not much we can do. Meanwhile, back here, this is happening. I'm going to give you high engine mode to try and get this move done. Actually, I will give you overtake. There you go. Up and over Lance Stroll. And now in the middle of a little bit of a battle. And we're going to go back to medium engine mode over here. As don't want to run out of fuel into the chicane. Coming out. Doing an okay job. So, yeah, this is not great. Schumacher is in a decent position. He does have Norris, Raikkonen, and Alonso ahead of him, who are all running the soft compound tires, and in theory would be able to stay out longer than us. However, if his tires are going to last 40 laps and theirs are going to last, I don't know, 50 maybe. I mean, it's a 60 lap race, so they're probably going to have to pit around the same time as us anyway, which is unfortunate because it means we won't overtake anyone in the pits, but they shouldn't actually be able to stay out significantly longer than we will because everyone has to use two compounds and they're not obviously going to pit like the last lap, I would assume. So, I mean, we'll see. We should at least get Sainz and get Hulkenberg probably in a pit stop. So that's good. And progress is being made back here. Slowly but surely, this man is making his way through the field. So that's good. Now, he started 16th, so the fact that he's just recovered to 14th is mildly annoying because there's really no reason for him to have been 23rd at one point anyway. But, you know, take what you can get. Up here, things are going okay. Our tire wear is better than Albon, worse than Gasly, Valtteri, Max, way worse than Ricciardo for some reason. So that's unfortunate, but, you know, as long as we can stay in the points, I mean, I'll largely take it. Another lockup by Gasly, so the Red Bull's still locking up, which could be good for us. Could mean that they will rip through their tires, because that just about put us on par, actually probably a little bit better than Pierre. So that's good. I would like to get up and over Sainz here, because although we're going to get him in the pits, it is I guess holding us up probably. So I'm going to give him a little bit more engine power, see what he can get done, as his driver form is coming alive, and Sainz tires are beginning to go towards the area where they're going to start to fall off, because they are seemingly below 50% right now. Ricciardo, I'm going to guess, is probably the only member of this top group that has not suffered a lockup into that one turn, so that's probably why his tire wear is so much better than everyone else's. I'm gonna guess. Schumacher looks to get the move done, but kind of ends up on the outside of that turn, so maybe get it coming out of the chicane. Not gonna get it done. Coming around now to the main straight, gonna get it done right there. That is perfect. If he can just hold it off into this turn, I think that is going to be relatively smooth sailing up in the lead there. So 13th place now. Hulkenberg definitely within sight. Just suffered a lockup. That's not great. Hulkenberg within sight for sure. Raikkonen, again, depends on how the AI decides to play their soft tires. I'm still not sure what they're going to do, because I still think super soft to ultra soft makes more sense, but a lot of the AI is on the soft, so we will have to see. And again, I don't remember if there's gonna be rain, so there is that too to be aware of. Meanwhile, up here, not much is happening, but he is driver form 10, so that's nice. I guess we'll push and go into high engine mode while we have good driver form and see if we can get something done here before we need to pit relatively soon. So come on, get the move, cut back inside. Weak sauce move. You really gotta throw the car in there. Bombs away. Yeah, up the inside. Ah, it's so close. Now, yes. Just shove him off the fucking track right into a wall. Put him into some fucking tire walls. Let's go. We just overtook a Red Bull. We did it. And it is the Gasly Red Bull, but it's a Red Bull, damn it. It's real. Red Bulls are real, even if driven by people who don't drive very quick. And tires getting a bit hot, so we're gonna back off there. But we have gained a position, and our tire wear relative to the field ahead is basically the same. So Verstappen's actually a little bit worse off. Ricciardo is a little bit better off. Valtteri is about the same as us. Hamilton's about the same as us. So we're in a pretty good spot. Sergio Perez suffering from mechanical issues. Does anyone care? No, because he's in fucking 19th place. Back over at this battle, which somehow has become competitive with Sainz once again. But regardless, I mean, let him go, because as long as Schumacher can keep his cool about that and it doesn't affect him in that way, I mean, these two cars are going to pit soon. So we're going to get them both back pretty quickly. As their tires are worse for wear, I would say. We just grabbed a spot over Albon, who's in the pits, so that spot will likely go back to him later. Ooh, I see battling happening up here. Oh no. We must stay ahead. Beat the Red Bull. Our driver form fell off there for a second, but we're... Oh no, it's going down again. I think he's unhappy with the tires. Do we try and pit early? Let's check. What would pitting on the next lap do us? That is a 46 lapper. Which would get us to the end, right? So I think it's time to go strategy and call him into the pits. Next lap. This is a go. Push. And bring it home. Meanwhile, Schumacher finally getting over Sainz, who has pit, and ahead of Stroll just naturally somehow, so that's good. We're going to come out very close to Schumacher, I believe, when we come out here, so something to be aware of. Where are we? We are 7th place, coming up to it now, so we're going to ask to attack. And we are in the pits. I really wanted to keep editing that. Alright, pit stop complete. No dramatic issues, at least. Yeah, we are going to exit in 10th, just ahead of Kimi Räikkönen. So, we are on these strategies till the end, or this strategy, these tires, the end. My sentences got a little mangled here, but you get it. We are going to drive these tires to the end. This is the strategy. That is more or less what I was trying to communicate with my piss poor English that I communicated it with to start. He's getting his head back in the game, so that's good. I don't quite know why his head was out of the game, but his head did depart the game. Meanwhile, this dude, I think, likes when his engine mode is high and when he's told he can drive aggressive. And since his driver form is also falling by the wayside, I will ask him to drive faster to hopefully ease his descent into oblivion. As he does a new personal best Sector 1, even though his driver form is getting worse. I'm not entirely sure what the context the game thinks that falls under, but okay. And Pietro here should be picking up a position or two. Did grab Hulkenberg. Did not grab Verstappen. We will grab Norris. Interestingly enough, I don't think we're going to be in range of any of the cars way ahead of us here, but we'll see. We'll see. And so far, I don't think we've made up enough time on the new tires to get these guys as they go in for their pits, but I am going to ask him to go a little faster here to try and get us closer, even though it is gonna eat into the tires, and we do have a very tight window for making sure these get to the end. But I don't know why his driver form is falling so precipitously, but it is, so that's not really helping. I'm gonna be honest. Not helping. Hopefully he can do something here. Let's speed this lap up a little bit. Or these laps, I suppose, because not much taking place right now. Drop that back down as Gasly has exited the pits directly in front of us. Carlos Sainz has crashed. Sainz is out of the race, presumably. Pierre Gasly has crashed, also out of the race, so that's actually good for us. That crash actually mattered. And we are on the ass of Lando Norris, who does have to pit and will eventually get out of our way. Preferably, he would get out of our way now, because I think he is affecting our driver form almost more than anything, probably. But so far, we are not finding a way through. And I'm a little concerned about our tires going towards the end of the race here, but we shall see. And oh, he didn't get it done. Come on, stick the move here. Come on, stick the move. Not seeing it getting done. Nope, not again. Norris able to defend once more. And once more gets the inside on that turn. Able to stay ahead. Continually able to outdo us there. Although our driver form is finally going back up, which is nice. It's not helping much in the sense that we are not able to overtake, but it is going up. Meanwhile, back in the Dumbmobile, he's gonna have to pit soon. Let's see. 27 will not get her done. Can't go onto the same compound, but we can go for the... Oh, I did this wrong. I was supposed to be... I did all this wrong. All right. Yeah, there you go. Pit for the hose, buddy, I guess. A mistake on the front jack, so that's terrible. Not helpful. Not helpful at all. But anyway, back up here with this silly business taking place. We are in an okay spot in this race. If Schumacher can make up some spots, which I would expect that he can, but I'm not sure that he can. Up, and he crashed. Okay, well. Yay. That's not... Oh my god, Giovinazzi is crashing. There's a lot of crashing going on, and we haven't had a safety car, which I find really weird. There are now 4 crashes that have not one has required a safety car in the game's estimation. And poor Pietro here cannot get past Lando Norris. Lando Norris, the defensive driving champion, back into this turn at the end of the first straight and still can't get it done, but finally gets around a little bit later than the move had been lining up to happen the last few laps. But that next time, if we came down the main straight, I was going to give him overtake and see if that could get the move, but apparently did not need it, and now has got all kinds of clear air to try and make up time. Although his driver form is getting worse now that he's succeeded. Succeeding was apparently a negative for Pietro here. He liked failing. Failing was better for some reason. Although he's also now setting better sectors than before. I don't... sometimes, I don't know. And condition. Broke. He broke it all. He broke all of it. He broke the whole car. Every fucking bit of it fell the fuck off because he crashed presumably into a tree. I don't know what... Well, him and his brand new tires are down there with Pierre Gasly and his brand new tires in the wall. In the wall somewhere. Now we are up into 7th, 1 place off Ricardo. 8 seconds off Ricardo though, so... assuming no mistakes from Ricardo, unlikely that this changes much. And unfortunately, Hulkenberg has snuck up here into the top 10 and into the points. However, plausibly, he is, I assume, required to pit again, and I assume that maybe this will shuffle out different once he does. That's the hope and the dream, at least, because we really don't want the 2 Renaults finishing in the points, especially one ahead of us with our other car somewhere inside of a wall right now. So, the gross qualifying led to gross driving, which led to gross racing, which led to gross blood splattered on a wall. And I, for one, am disappointed, and I'm thinking we got to call up our boy Kevin Magnussen and get him back in a vehicle. Although that sounds like a bad idea too. However, these two have the driving form that speaks to incompetence. So I'm not really sure where to go with this. I would really like these two to be doing better jobs driving in general. Although I think as far as team performance on the whole for the season, we're probably about where we should be. there is definitely some race-to-race issues. Although, for some reason, it just feels like I think our drivers don't like the circuit in particular because we were so bad in qualifying and we're so bad now. So, I do think that there is something to be said about the track itself making our drivers upset and causing their form to be lower. And possibly the car mixed with the track could be, you know, compounding the issue. So it's not necessarily the driver's fault, although I am sure that it's not entirely not the drivers who are causing this because, well, they're not the best duo in the world. So there is definitely room for better drivers to be found for Haas here, but likely next season we're still stuck with something that resembles this driver lineup. So we'll just have to keep working on car development moving forward, and hopefully by the time the car is up to par with everyone else, we'll be able to be out from under these contracts and be in a better position to sign one of the top guys, like a Verstappen or something to really bring us into the top. I would be curious as to how like a Lewis Hamilton would perform in our car here, because if we're consistently we're like fourth as a team or so, consistently, you know, top 10 at least one car during the races, like I wonder what a Hamilton could do for us. Like, could he get us consistent podiums? Would it be consistent fourth and fifth? You know, what would that look like? Verstappen is in the pits, but way out ahead of us, so not really within range of anything we're doing. And this race has kind of petered out as we were kind of driving sort of in the middle of nowhere, although we're probably going to start bitching with our front wing soon enough, so that should be fun. And our tires are kind of falling off. The car behind us is way behind, so I'm going to ask to just conserve tires here. There's really... I'll just watch the temperatures and set it back to normal once the temperatures get back to being too low. Like, they are falling right now, so let's go to neutral driving. But for the most part here, I mean, we've got a gap of like 30 seconds here, so not much to be done other than to just bring the car home, honestly. For hopefully what should be a quality 7th place finish, barring the tires really going off a cliff here, which they are. Yeah, I know, your front wing. They are not great right now, but hopefully it's okay. And Lance Stroll ran wide. 8 laps to go. Still a 30-second gap, so honestly, almost no matter what we do, the tires should make it to the end, even if it's in slow motion here towards the very last bit. Up into 6th, we passed Danny Rick, as Danny Rick is pitted for new tires. Drums here at the end. I think we drive it to the end and hope that Danny Rick doesn't catch us. I mean, he is going to, and he will probably overtake us, but I mean, there's no point in pitting. We still have a 30-second gap. And yeah, the move gets done. I guess if we pit now, where do we come out? Same place we currently are, so might as well. It'll be better for the end of the race. Oops, I missed the fucking pit lane. Whoops-a-daisy. Well, hopefully we don't fall off way too much. That gap is dangerously shrinking. Dangerously shrinking. All's well that ends well, right? We let that get a little close for comfort, but should be a-okay here to the finish. Should be a-okay here to the finish. For some reason we suddenly have like way more fuel than necessary. I don't really know why that would be, but that's something I'm noticing. Anyway, this was a less than stellar spectator sport, but it is completed. 7th place for Pietro. Schumacher crashed into a tree and did not manage to finish the race. So, as we wrap up here today, Sebastian Vettel has won for Ferrari, which is interesting because that's not something that happens all that often. Anyways, let's get to the driver standings for this week's excursion in the Black Sea. We finish in the, did I say 6th place? I thought it said 6 just now. Did someone get a penalty? Did I miss something? Anyway, Pietro is up to 12th place in the driver standings, 1 place behind Magnussen, who is on the bench. We retain 4th place by a point over Renault. And let us get to the other screen because I want to see. I think we somehow ended up in 6th place. I do believe that is somehow what that screen said, even though I actually skipped over it because I didn't think it mattered. Finishing position is 6th, so somebody got a penalty. Possibly Danny Rick. A top 10 result increases marketability. A crashed car does lots of bad things for Mick. Meanwhile, this guy. A morale of 6 right now for Mr. Schumacher. Possibly needs to be swapped out for next week's race. Anyway, Gene Haas is satisfied, and I am satisfied. So, without further ado, thank you very much for watching. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any suggestions for the series, leave them in the comment section below. If you've missed previous episodes, there is a playlist linked below with all the episodes, as well as the qualifying episodes have timestamps so you can skip around to qualifying and practice and whatever you want to see without having to scan through the video to figure it out. So, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all later.